It's all we've got to say, young man. Bravo.
It was wonderful.
Oh, it was.
Oh, I loved it. You know, it was so transformative. It's a foolish analogy, but it was a bit like a driver in their car. You know, sort of, if your soul is the driver and this is your car,
Yeah.
you're standing on the outside as the driver and you see the dents in the bonnet and you see the paintwork and you see the model of the car. But actually, when you're in the jungle, you're just the driver looking out at the view. It's just your lens goes out and it's all about what you see and what you're ingesting, and you forget about the car altogether. I didn't even look in the mirror once. It was extraordinary how the whole lens was out, out, out. I think because we were communing with nature and because the socialisation was so intense, and 18 hours of that kind of socialisation. There was no time for anything but a floating soul, you know.
Well, or a floating ruby wax.
Or a floating ruby wax.
You did that quite a lot. It was literally... Well, how did that even start?
Well, it started because I was a stonking fan.
Yes, of course.
And I thought, I know I'm going to block my copybook because I'm going to be like a squirting geezer kind of listing her credits. And luckily, that sort of ran dry pretty quickly. And then I think because we were living together, we sort of developed more of a parity and I became less of a hero worshipper.
Yeah.
And then we found we had so much in common.
Yeah.
Our frame of reference was very similar because I'm kind of anachronistic. And, and I just adored her. And that pool every morning was so galvanising. I mean, it was so chilly that...
Yes, it's not warm, right?
No, every sinew stiffened. And then we were awake for the day. You know, in lieu of coffee, it was an absolute boon.
Oh, so actually it was a good way of perking up and waking up and being ready for the day.
Yes, it made the grey cells dance.
Yeah.
That's what it did. It really did. And then we would meditate afterwards. And so suddenly our tempo would slow. And it was just... It kind of ran the gamut of everything that we needed in about 17 minutes.
Yeah.
When you had been asked, Tom, did you speak to anybody that you knew had been in for advice and things? What were your worries and concerns before you went in?
Roman Kemp was an absolute doozy. I mean, first of all, he said to me when he came out of the jungle, we are quite good friends.
Yeah.
And he said, if you're ever asked, you have to say yes. You have to say yes. And I thought, well, I have a mantra that if the only reason not to do something is fear, it's not a strong enough reason. So then you must do it. Yeah. And I thought, well, other than abject terror, I have no good reason at all. I was frightened of everything, but it's amazing because, especially with the critters, I kept thinking of Barbara Woodhouse sort of blowing up the nostrils of horses and dogs and saying once you blow up their nostrils, they're friends for life, you know. And I thought, well, that's what it's like, really, because once you're nose to nose with them, you see something. It's almost anthropomorphic. You see something in them and you think, actually, I just want to handle you very gingerly. And
respectfully.
And respectfully.
And you were very respectful of some of those snakes as well, Tom. As
they were lovely. They were sort of cool and lubricious, and when they were on either side, they would compress you like a sort of a massage chair. It was
like they're constricting you, trying to consume you.
Well, yes. Well, yes, actually, that's true. But it was very pleasant.
One thing he wasn't very pleasant to was that spider that you ate at the end. I mean, he was already a goner when he was on the plate.
Yes.
Can I just say that heady melange was... I've never seen anybody approach that kind of chat, because to me, I think that would be my worst thing.
That's what you would...
Doing that challenge would be awful, just to try and keep it down. You raced through, you described everything.
Well, I mean, the pig... Well, I can't say it, but the pig's intimate end was sort of like a bacony radish.
Bacony radish?
Yes. Yes, it was. And it was hearteningly small, you know. That was the thing, because the one that really nearly got me was the camel's brain, because it tasted like if you'd left foie gras out in the sun for a year and a half.
Right.
And it was just so rich, you know, and I thought, I can't stomach anything after this. And then the bacony radish came, and I thought, well, at least you're small. And the spider came, and I thought, what a doozy, it's tiny. I just thought about size.
And that's what got you through. One of the things I've loved as well, though, Tom, is in the camp, you certainly became sort of a go-to agony uncle for quite a lot of your campmates.
Well, I think Shona taught me hugely, because I remember going in thinking, oh, I've got sort of a few dents in my armour. And she sort of taught me, well, take your armour off, be in your birthday suit, be vulnerable, because we all are so vulnerable anyway here. And I think that made my antennae shoot up, and particularly where Shona was concerned. And I think we sort of followed one another's spiky graph. And it is, I suppose, it is sort of my role in life with my chums too. I try to be an ear, a shoulder and a bosom if I can. And so it was nice to occupy that space in the jungle.
But there was one moment where you went into Doomsville and you really did suddenly become very vulnerable, and all you wanted to do was reach into the TV screen and give you a cuddle.
That was my lowest ebb, actually.
Yeah,
because
it looked like it.
it was a strange thing. Up until that point, I felt like Alice through the looking glass. You know, it was like the world beyond had paused, and so we didn't need to miss it, you know, because this world was all that existed. And then that thought flipped and it became very painful suddenly. But then, immediately after that was one of the loveliest moments, because the catharsis was so great and because I was so liberally leaky, I then took myself off on my own to the creek. And there were two little cobalt iridescent dragonflies sitting on a boulder in sort of dappled light. And I suddenly thought, this is what it's all about. And if I can take time, which I did daily actually, to do that and be still and to listen to the creek and the music of it, I can't begin to tell you, because the creek was like this constant percussion. And then you had the layers and layers of bird song. I had a minor bird that imitated my whistle. And then on top of that, the top layer was sort of the rustle of the canopy, which was constant too. And that's just one sense. And that sense was aroused round the clock. I mean, it's so stimulated. That's the word. Yes, that's the word. It was just constantly stimulated, but in the best conceivable way.
What's lovely is while you're ensconced in the camp and having this sort of emotional, spiritual experience, your mum was lapping up the luxury in the hotel.
We chatted to her. She was having a lovely time.
She was loving it.
She had such a ball. And she instigated, she and I were both blank canvases before, but she instigated getting tattoos. They all had a tattoo.
So your mum led a gang of friends and family to the tattoo parlour?
She did, to the tattoo parlour. And they'd all held a very, very sweet, I've seen pictures of him, a very sweet koala called Herbie. And they've all now got Herbie
tattooed on their bodies?
On their arms.
So you've got your mum?
My mum, Ginger's mum, I think Millie, Shona's sister. There was a whole little cohort who are now inked.
The Herbie gang.
The
Herbie gang. I love it.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.